Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video it's about the patch notes that were released on the 10th of January for Fallout 76. So before this video starts, if this is interesting, helpful or useful to you, then please do consider liking, sharing, commenting and subscribing. Okay, so the PC update is already, I think, live, and consoles are going to be next week. Not sure on the date. I think it's the Wednesday next week, and it's going to bring, I think they said over 150 fixes, which just shows how much they are putting into trying to fix this game to bring it better for people. They reckon it's going to be about 4 gigs for the consoles. It's currently half a gig for PC. I'm just going to try and go through the general fixes because there is a lot of them, so I don't want to keep you here all day watching this. And the main things I can see here are things like power armor light has been made brighter. That's pretty good. The usual improvements to stability, they always kind of do that. So to do with balance, they have changed the way that the glowing ones that used to give a lot of XP, they don't anymore. Again, the thing is that I find with these notes, I should just mention, is that a lot of these notes with Fallout are nerfs. There is not very often a buff involved in fixing these games, especially with Fallout. They tend to realize that maybe people are exploiting things, and yeah, unfortunately they get nerfed to the ground. So the other one that I'm going to mention is crafting, which is lowered chance of power generators spawning fusion cores. That's probably a good thing, to be fair, because it's so easy at the moment to get fusion cores. There is no risk in trying to manage your fusion cores at the moment, so you kind of just have you can have so many of them, you can start dropping them on the floor. The minimum component cost for workshop buildings requiring steel, wood or plastic has been increased from 1 to 2. One actual buff though, and I was really confused when I first seen this in the game, is bobby pins originally was 0.1 in weight. So obviously if you have 10 bobby pins, that's a full pound in weight, taking up your very limited weight carry anyway. They've now reduced that down to 0.001. General improvements to performance when nuking has been improved. I have yet to test this out, and there was a couple of issues when reading notes. It was caused the backgrounds to freeze. They say in general that they have fixed an issue where items could be duplicated. They say this every single time, but somehow, some way, someone finds out how to duplicate. I hope they do fix it, because with this type of game, the loot is as much a bigger part of the game as actual playing the game and taking on enemies and killing bosses. Loot plays a very important part in this game. People duplicating stuff, and I've even seen reports of people selling these items for real money, is ridiculous. They need to crack down on these hard. The main things are really that I'm going to talk about in this video, because like I say, there's a lot, is obviously the crafting and the perk system things. They're the most important things to talk about. So we've got level 25 armor and above now requires ballistic fiber to craft, so it was 20 before. That's not too bad. Component quantities required to repair mid to high level armor and weapons have been reduced up to 20%. Repair costs scale with level, and there's room to reduce costs at higher level. Bulk acid now has to be bulked at 15, not 10, and overall repair costs have been lowered for both weapons and armors, which is a good thing as well. So again, I'm just going to very briefly just touch on a few things. I will put the link in the description. Enemies, there was a real big problem at White Spring, and they've fixed that apparently now. We've fixed an issue where it would cause robots to respawn too frequently in White Springs. I've seen videos, it's so funny. There's just loads of these robots just walking around. It's ridiculous, which obviously can all be killed and farmed, and then you could get materials off, so it did need to be fixed. So some other good things I'll just mention is the fusion cores on the fusion cores generator farming areas. So the one, for example, I can think of is at Poseidon plant. When you take on that workshop, basically they fixed an issue where the fusion core generators were producing cores at a lower rate than intended. They are now back to 8 cores per hour. And the final thing I'm going to talk about in this video, like I say, you can always check out the link, it is the perks. So all night long now decreases hunger and thirst growth at night. Overdrive, fixed an issue where overdrive was not increasing critical chance properly. Quack Surgeon no longer allows for reviving hostile players. Well, why? A stranger number effects now scale properly with the multiple teammates with and without mutations. Refractor, fixed an issue where each rank of the refractor is doubling energy resistance instead of adding 20 as indicated stated on the perk card description. Fireproof now reduces explosion and flame attack damage by 15% per rank. Happy Camper now functions correctly whether the player is inside or outside of their camp when the perk conditions are refreshed. Butcher's Bounty fixed an issue that allowed for Butcher's Bounty perk to trigger again on an already searched creature. Homebody, the Homebody perk now works as intended when at a claimed public workshop, and Party Boy / Girl now affects active alcohol effects on the player. A few social things just to speak about. Blocking a player now also mutes their proximity chat. And the other one that I can see that kind of makes sense, I suppose, is change cap limit for player to player trades from 5,000 caps to 25,000 caps. There's one that I can't see actually on here, but I did notice it, and I previously did a video. So as from next week, fusion cores will no longer replenish the full charge upon joining another world. So that trick that I did is going to be null and void because they've actually realized it was a glitch and they fixed it. So you are going to have to manage your fusion cores a little bit more because it's actually been fixed that you can't log in, log out and replenish your fusion cores anymore. So that kind of means you're going to have to juggle your perks around. I mean, there's one, I think it's the energy weapons, making energy weapons or energy ammo perk cards. You're going to have to probably utilize that maybe a little bit more and drop down the weight of those fusion cores so you can carry multiples, because you're not going to be able to use the same core over and over just by logging in, logging out anymore. Like I say, there is more in the website. I will leave the link in the description. They are trying to make things right. I am enjoying this game, and hopefully you're enjoying listening to me talk about and give help and advice. Thanks everyone for watching today, and take care.